Good day, everyone. We are here to report all about digital communication in business and preparing business report.
Good day, everyone. Before we start our discussion, we prepare some game to energize our mind while listening to our reporters. You can unmute your mic if you want to answer. This is recorded as part of your recitation. Our topic for today is digital communication in business and preparing business report by Group 4. So let the game begin. The first question provides a dramatic effect when used to show the distribution of parts of a whole. Familiar titles for the pie chart are how each peso of income was distributed, percentage distribution of the average payroll in pesos, percentage distribution by countries of world steel production, among others. Thank you for your answering the first question. The answer is pie chart. The second question is to compare quantities. The bar chart is perhaps the most effective and flexible graphic device. The answer of the second question is bar chart. The third question are similar to bar charts. Both have time and amount access, but the line chart is more desirable in showing changes in quantitative data over time. The answer of the third question is line chart. You are correct. The fourth question. Communication reached its full flowering because of its perceived advantages as identified below by RISV 2008. The answer of the fourth question is email. The last question. A consists of a number of table row objects, each defining a row. Actually, you can have other children, which will be explained below. Containers do not display borderlines for their rows, columns, or cells. And the last question is table layout. You are correct. Thank you for your cooperation in answering our jumble letters game. Now let's start our discussion led by Soriano.
So here are the topic outlines. Using tables, using charts, choosing the appropriate visuals, representing numbers, electronic technology business, email and e-commerce distinguish, preparing easy-to-read emails, additional guidelines in the preparation of emails for effective business communication. Using graphics in business reports. One picture is worth 1,000 words. The following guideposts will be help of 1. All tables along with other illustrations in the report should be properly numbered to provide easy and accurate reference to them in the text. Number 2. Each table should be titled in such a way that the reader understands the content. Number 3. Each vertical column in figures and each horizontal line of figure should be captioned or labeled. Number 4. Footnotes should be used to indicate sources when data were gathered from secondary material and special instructions. Use asterisk or letter to indicate footnotes. Number 5. Use symbols such as percent, number, and peso sign sparingly in captions. The appropriate style is to spell out of words in caption and to use peso sign before the first figure in the column of peso amounts and before the total. So these are the figure 1 sample table layout. Distribution of stereo systems, owner by distribution. So for the occupation, white collars, number of owners 385, percent of owners 35%. Occupation, self-employed, number of owners 271, percent of owners 25%. Occupation, blue collar, number of owners 225, percent of owners 20%. Occupation, student, number of owners 153%, percent of owners 15%. Occupation, unemployed, number of owners 66, percent of owners 6%, with a total of 1,100 owners.
Next is using charts. Whether you're writing a business reports, technical paper, presentation, using diagrams or graphics can help your message. But the question is, which graphics is best for the information at hand? So, first we have a pie chart. And when do we use a pie chart? We use pie chart as for a categorical data. We use it to show distribution of parts of a whole. They have familiar titles or example titles. It can be at the bottom or at the above of your graphics. Example are how each peso of income was distributed, percentage distribution of the average payroll in pesos, percentage distribution by countries of world steel production, among others. So remember, when using a pie chart, is that the sum of the data is equal to 100%. So take a look at this picture. 61% plus 4% plus 35% is equal to 100%. So, accurate siya, tama siya. Next, we have bar chart. So, when do we use bar chart? We use it to compare quantities, to compare sets of data against one another, show changes in data over time, and it is the most flexible and effective graphic device. There are 3 guidelines on how to construct a good bar chart. First, when time periods are used for comparison. Second, when times other than time periods are used for magnitude. And the last, bars should be of equal width. So, tama naman, dapat magkakapantay yung sukat kung gagawa tayo ng bar chart. Yung indentation niya dapat same doon sa kasunod pang mga bar chart. Because problems can arise if the size and proportions are inconsistency. And also, bar chart can be vertical and horizontal bar chart, as you can see in this picture. And the last for our chart is line chart. So when do we use line chart? We use it to show trends over time. It is similar to bar charts. Both have time and amount axis, but the line chart is more desirable in showing changes in quantitative data over time. When line charts are used, keep in mind this guidepost. Use the vertical axis for amount and the horizontal axis for time. Second, measure the axis gradations carefully to make certain they are equal. Use reasonable proportions in the size of gradations. And the last, begin both vertical and horizontal axis at 0 on the scale. So take a look at this example picture. So imagine this is a yearly earnings. So on your y-axis, it is the amount in the vertical axis. And on x-axis, the horizontal is, imagine it is a year, like 2001, 2002, and so forth. And it should have a 0, both 0 at vertical and horizontal axis. And make sure that the indentation or the size are equal to avoid problems. So imagine kung gagawa tayo ng mga makakapal na documents, ito waste of time sa atin para basahin. Pagdating sa costing, mamamahalan pa tayo sa mga expenses. Pero kung gagamit tayo ng mga charts, isang tinginan lang natin, alam na natin kung ano ang kahulugan at kung ano ang sinasabi nung charts na yon. Especially kapag tayo ay nag-report sa ating investors, di ba? Madaling ma-identify ng investors kung meron ba talagang kung nag-progress ba yung company mo, kung nag-gain ba ng income or nag-loss ba ng income sa year na ito. At yun yung kagandahan sa paggamit ng mga charts sa business reports.
Choosing the appropriate visuals. Ito yung mga criteria kung paano malaman ng isang writer kung alin ba yung tamang visuals na gamitin para sa kanyang business reports. Good writers choose the visuals the best matches the purpose of presenting the data. Hindi naman kailangan na kung ano yung maganda sa paningin natin, ayun na yung gagamitin natin visuals. Kailangan, meron din tayong guidelines. In using a chart or graph, kailangan alam natin kung para saan ba yun. A. To compare a part to the whole. B. To compare one item to another item. C. To compare items or distribution. D. To show frequency or distribution. And E. To show correlations. We can use photographs, we can use drawings, we can use maps, and also we can use Gantt charts. When we say Gantt charts, it is a good way to show a quick summary of tasks assignments, times, dates, and to report progress. Representing numbers. In representing numbers, Comfort et al. 1998 suggests the following useful points. A. For numbers below 10, words are preferable to numerals. So, pag 0 to 10, kailangan pag gagamitin siya sa sentence, naka-spell out siya. For example, there were 5 files missing from the cabinet. Next. Use numerals for page numbers, dates, figures, addresses, and those with percent. Dito naman, pag page numbers, dates, figure, addresses naman, pag gagamitin siya sa sentence, dapat naka-numeral siya. For example, 1 to 23 July, figure 6, foreign news street, 6%. Next, letter C. Do not use numerals for ordinate numbers. So, pag ordinate numbers naman, dapat naka-spell out siya. For example, this is the second report on the subject in 6 months. Next, letter D. Do not use two numerals in succession. Meaning to say, do not use numerals in two succession, spell them out. Use hyphen after you spell out those numbers. For example, 12 10-man teams. Do not use two numerals at the beginning of a sentence. So, pag sa simula ng sentence, dapat hindi siya naka-numeral. Kailangan naka-spell out siya. For example, 15 people were injured in the accident. And the last one, do not use numerals for round number estimates. So, pag estimating round numbers naman, dapat hindi siya naka-numerals pag gagamitin natin siya in a sentence. Kailangan naka-spell out siya. For example, roughly 200 employees were made redundant.
For the continuation, email and e-commerce distinguish. So first, let's talk about email. So what is an email? An email is a short term for electronic mail. So this is a very famous one, especially to us students nowadays, because our learning modalities today is through online. So the platform we are using is, one of them is email. So we are sending information to our teachers, and teachers are sending information back to us. So next, according to RISI 2008, it is said here that email communication reached its full flowering because of its perceived advantages. So what are these advantages that email have? As we can notice, if you are using an email, you can notice that the messages or the informations that we send that we want to send to other people is just in a wink of an eye. So it said here that email makes the messages reach the reader by the wink of an eye. So napakabilis. Another is email is more convenient in sending email or messages. Another is email is more convenient in sending messages to other people. So napakabilis dumating ng mga messages natin. As I said earlier, if you are using email, you can notice the how fast the email works. While e-commerce, on the other hand, is in short for electronic commerce. So, it is the use of electronic networks and technology for commerce and other electronic activities. So, what is an electronic commerce? The commerce is buying and selling of goods and services, transmitting of funds or data over an electronic network, primarily the internet. So, you can see the difference from the email and e-commerce. So, usually email is used to send messages, informations to other people, while e-commerce is it's like a platform being used in businesses. Some of the examples of the e-commerce is the Amazon, Mintra, if I'm not mistaken, Mintira or Mintra, the eBay, and other platforms that we are using. Next is preparing easy-to-read email. We have these guides to use in preparing email that is easy to read. This is according to Killer 2006. The first one is your email should use a 11 to 12 font size. So, the next one is short and simple words. So you must use a short and simple words. Depends to the readers na meron tayo. If you use words that are not very familiar, or it will be hard for that person to understand what you are saying. So it is more good if you use words that are easy to understand. Short sentences. Write short sentences but direct. Nandun yung point mo sa mga sentences na meron ka. Kasi it will be more easy for that person or for the readers to understand what you are saying kung dinirekta mo na. Next is avoid long paragraphs. This one is put space between paragraphs. We all know about this, that after every paragraphs, we must always put a space between them. Next one is avoid using bullets. Making emails, you must avoid using bullets. Prefer to use numbers. Next one are an additional guidelines in writing an email identified by Makabuhay 2009. So, let us read the first one. So, write the recipient reader in mind. Next, keep your message short and direct to the point. So, that is what I'm saying earlier na your messages or the informations that you want to send to your reader should be short and direct. Limit your emails into one subject only. And last is you must cover the important points or the most important points in your first paragraph. I only read the first paragraph. Actually, you can see the as a whole from its first sentence. Kasi dun pa lang sa unang messages or sa mga informations na ibibigay mo, maipo-point out mo, ay nakita na kaagad doon sa first paragraph mo, malalaman na nandun na yung pinakang point ng buong essay. So there's no need for the readers to read the whole essay or to read the whole email.
Again, thank you for listening everyone and have a good day.